Yo, what is going on YouTube? This is your boy Dan, aka aDrive, bringing you guys week 8 of the UCL. The St. Louis Rampardos are taking on the Grand Canyon Greninjas and my good friend Twit. If you guys want to check out his channel, it's in the description below as always. Definitely be sure to check out his side of the battle and show him some love, of course. So far we are 4-3 after a nice win last week. It was a narrow victory, but we did win over David. And Twit has had a bit of a rough start this season, so I'm hoping to pick up a win here, but I'm really not a big fan of the team matchup. So if you want to check out the team builder, I highly recommend it. You know, you can kind of see what sets we're bringing, kind of what I'm thinking he's going to bring, and so on and so forth. Just kind of a note from the team builder, though, I did change one thing. I did decide to go with Dazzling Gleam over Psychic on my Delphox after kind of debating about it in the team builder. I did make that last change. Otherwise, I am fully expecting Twit to bring Charizard X, Mega Charizard X. Which Mega Charizard do you like the most? That is our question of the day today. Do you like Charizard X or Charizard Y? And of course, if you are hyped for the UCL and the St. Louis Rampardos, hopefully head smash their way to victory here. Show your love with that like button down below and definitely subscribe if you're new. So with all that said, let me connect to the internet, get connected here with Twit, and hopefully pick up another win, but it should be fun nevertheless. So let's do this. All right, guys, we are connected here with Twit. We're going to find out what team he's going to bring. Really confident in the Skarmory, Conk, and Mega Charizard X, but the other three are a little bit iffy. I think that Surf could come. The Superior, Jolteon, Jellicent seem to be the most six that I'm thinking he's going to bring, but we'll find out here soon. I'm kind of hoping that he brings some of the not-so-big threats as opposed to the big threats I'm worried about, because his team does have a really good matchup against mine, and then really kind of messed up my team building in a way, because I had to prepare for things like Charizard X, which are just such a huge threat against my team that doesn't have a fairy type and doesn't really have a good resist to it. So while things like Vaporeon and Venusaur and T-Tar can all come in on Charizard, if it sets up a Dragon Dance, it can actually like kind of destroy my team. So I have to be very, very cautious about how I play around that thing. And also he's got some other threats like Superior, being able to go for Leaf Storms and stuff. And I'm just hoping that he's a little bit hesitant to try to set up, thinking that I could have brought Ditto. But we'll find out what his team here is in a second. I'm waiting for the game to load. This is always the interesting part here of the battle, or one of the interesting parts. Looks like he brings a lot of things I expected. Does not bring the Conkeldurr, which oh, he does. I'm sorry. I'm very surprised. He does bring the Sableye, so I did make a change there to kind of work for that. And it looks like, what was the other Pokemon he brought? He brought the Mesprit. Not surprised to see that. Does bring the Jellicent, but does not bring the Superior. Brings Mesprit instead. So a couple things there. I guess I wasn't too surprised to see. I did say that I think Mesprit could be very effective against me. So let me make some notes here. No Jolteon. He brought Mesprit instead, and no Superior. Brings Sableye instead. Okay, so this all makes sense. Let me do a quick bit of research here on Mesprit. I just want to see if it gets Focus Blast or not. I do believe it does, but I'm not actually positive, so I want to just double check that before I make my lead decision here. But I am thinking that a good lead here, I have a couple different options, but I believe it does get Focus Blast, but I do just want to double check. Focus. It does not get Focus Blast. Okay, so I got that out of the way. All right, so potential leads on his end, either Skarmory or Mesprit, I think make the most sense. In terms of my leads, I could potentially lead Godzilla here and really be able to kind of scare out the Mesprit a little bit, or I could potentially, yeah, I actually like the Godzilla lead here, really get my Stealth Rocks up right away, and I think that'll be really crucial, especially since he does not have any other way to get rid of hazards aside from that Skarmory. So I'm going to stick with that. Getting up these rocks are incredibly crucial for me to beat that Charizard, so I really want to get those up as soon as possible, and hopefully be able to kind of wear down his team a little bit. He's probably going to lead Mesprit or Skarmory. Those are the two most likely leads, and I think I could really make this work with T-Tar. I just want to double check again on kind of Mesprit's moveset here and how it handles my T-Tar. So let me just kind of look it up again, because I've used Mesprit in the past, but it's got a really, really big move pool, so it's not like I have it memorized, if I'm being completely honest. So what does he get for fighting type moves? Looks like HP fighting is going to be really his only decision, or power up punch. So I'm not really seeing anything else here. So he is going to lead with Mesprit, so not too surprising. Now he may be really concerned about me going for like Crunch or something like that. So this might not be the worst matchup for me. I'm actually thinking I'm going to go for a T-Wave here, as he doesn't really have anything on his team that wants to take a T-Wave, and I could paralyze this thing right off the bat, make it a little easier to deal with, and then promptly get my my Stealth Rocks up. So I'm just going to go for the T-Wave, predicting him to either get up his own Stealth Rocks or something like that, but he might be worried because typically Tyranitar carries Crunch. I don't have any Dark-type moves, but typically I'd be able to actually take on this thing pretty well. So while I would like to get my Rocks up, I think paralyzing this Mesprit is going to be incredibly useful. especially if it's not a support set, because Mesprit is the only thing that could potentially heal Bell, and he would kind of have to force to use it on himself. So let's go for that T-Wave here. I know I can live in HP fighting, unless this thing is, unless this thing is like super duper specs or something. I really don't anticipate any issues against this Mesprit against my Tyranitar, but we'll find out here in a second. Yeah, I mean, I should be able to take really anything. Like a hidden power fighting from a max attack or max special attack Life Orb modest variant does 57% max with the sand up, so really not a huge issue here. So getting this pair off on something, it's gonna be nice. He's gonna go for his Stealth Rocks himself, excuse me, which I'm not surprised to see. And what this is going to allow me to do, and this is kind of what I anticipated, I'm going to be able to get my own Stealth Rocks up here, and if he wants to get rid of my rocks, he has to defog his own rocks away. So that was kind of my thought process there. But he's going to take a little bit of chip damage there, and I don't have a Dark type move, so I'm simply just going to go for the Stealth Rocks myself, again, which will help me against that Charizard. It'll also help me kind of whittle down his team ever so slightly. It'll break the sturdy on the Skarmory, a couple things like that that could end up being useful, especially if I connect like a Delphox Fire Blast or something. But this Mesprit is a little bit scary for my team, so I am gonna have to kind of make sure I can handle it appropriately. But now that it's paralyzed, it's definitely a lot better. And actually, we didn't see, one thing to note is we did not see an item on this thing, I don't believe, unless I'm just mistaken and Leftovers goes before Sandstorm. We'll have to kind of see, but I haven't seen Leftovers yet. I'm not really sure the order of those, so kind of bear with me because I forgot. But we saw Rock, so it's probably more of a support variant. He might have Colbur Berry for that exact reason, but I don't have a Dark move, so it doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter to me. I got Rock Slide, so gonna be going for some Para Flinch shenanigans. I was gonna do Stone Edge, but I really like the idea of having Rock Slide instead. So now what he could do here is he could actually go into Conkeldurr and threaten me out immediately, at which case I just go into Vaporeon, I think, is what I'll have to do. Which is fine, I can manage that. Conkeldurr is very scary though. And actually, based on the composition of his team, if I can weaken that Jellicent, we can do some work with Heracross for sure. So he's gonna stay in here and go for the U-turn. So we see two moves on this thing. I get my rocks up. Very interesting that he decided the U-turn there instead of Hard Switch, but that's fine with me. He's gonna hit us super effectively with the U-turn, get a little bit of damage, and I'm sure Conkeldurr's coming in now at this point, because it immediately threatens me out, which is gonna mean I'm gonna have to switch into Vaporeon against the Conkeldurr, because I would love to go into Mega Venusaur, but I can't risk the potential Ice Punch coming from the Conkeldurr. Not that I expect him to go for it, but it's too risky for me to make that play. So, but we can assume that the Mesprit has U-turn, obviously Stealth Rocks. A third move is most likely a Psychic move, so Psychic or Psyshock. So I'm gonna make a note to myself. We can assume that because of Mega Venusaur. So then his last move, I'm not really sure. Probably Ice Beam for Salamence though, if I had to guess. Or some sort of other support move. So we'll see what he's gonna do here. I'm thinking Conkeldurr makes the absolute most sense. But I guess we'll find out. Here comes Yo, which is indeed that Conkeldurr. So unfortunately my play here, 1,000,000%, has to be to go into Vaporeon. I kind of have to. He's going to take Rocks and Sandstorm damage, so not a big deal. But I do have to go into Vaporeon here just because of how much damage he really can do to me with a Drain Punch. He's going to still do about 40% to me, but at least I can take the hit. And I could kind of threat him out with a Scald or go for a Toxic. So let's go into our Vaporeon here. It's not really much to think about. I can't make a risky play this early in the game, especially not with my T-Tar, which I think has a lot of usefulness. Being able to Fire Blast the Skarmory, potentially paralyze a few other things. I could potentially paralyze the Jellicent. I know I could take a hit from the Charizard. I just don't want to sit in here and take a Drain Punch for no reason. But I also don't want to risk the Ice Punch right now and going into Venusaur, which is not Mega Evolved yet, because that would hurt really badly. I'm fully expecting this Conkeldurr to be kind of an Assault Vest variant with Mach Punch, for sure, because the priority against Excadrill would be very useful. I think he's going to have Drain Punch, and then his other two moves are likely to be Knock Off and Ice Punch, I would guess. I think that's probably what it's going to be. So we'll make the switch here to Vaporeon. After Rocks, I know I can take the Drain Punch unless he's like a super offensive like Life Orb variant. He may predict the switch and go for Knockoff though, which he does do, so he is going to make the prediction here, go for Knockoff. We're going to see that do a very large amount of damage. That's because it was a critical hit, which is very unfortunate actually. That crit definitely matters because it affects the longevity of my Vaporeon here pretty strongly. So what I need to do here is, I'm kind of in a tough spot because I want to Scald predicting, you know, just to kind of get some chip damage off on this thing, but I also am going to have a hard time beating it otherwise. So I'm actually thinking right now my play is to simply go for Toxic, Because if he goes into his Jellicent, I can Toxic the Jellicent and start to wear that down. And if he stays in, I can Revenge Kill it with Delphox. So it's really not a big issue. The other play I could do is go to Venusaur here and save my Vaporeon, but at this point, Vaporeon just got crit. It's probably going to go down either way. So I'm kind of conflicted. I'm going to go for the Toxic here in case he does decide to switch into Jellicent. He's going to stay in. I am going to connect the Toxic. He very well could be Guts. I'm actually expecting him to be Guts, but I'm going to have to make this play anyway. So the Drain Punch comes off here. Not surprising to see that. And that will obviously knock us out. And he gets another crit. So not a huge deal there. Okay, so what I need to do now is Delphox has to come in here basically. And Delphox is going to be that Pokemon that can take this thing on. Because a Psyshock will kill him after this little bit of toxic damage there. Unless he has some crazy spread on it. So I'm pretty free to Psyshock. I mean, he very well could go into his Sableye. You know what I could do though? Instead of going into Delphox, I can go into Venusaur here, Mega Evolve, and just get a Giga Drain off. But he could be Guts boosted, so that makes me a little scared to do that. I just don't want to give that Sableye a free switch in, because he very well could just go into Sableye here, and I really think Harry is pretty important for me. Let me think about this. I really think he would save this Conkeldurr if I went into Harry. It's a very risky play. Trying to think of what makes the most sense here. I'm thinking Harry is probably the play. And then I can do a couple things. I can Calm Mind, predicting him to switch. Yeah, let's go to Harry. I think Harry's the best play. Psyshock will knock him out at this range. And I'm sure he knows that. Do I think he's going to switch here? That's the question. Because if I fire off a Psyshock and he switches, I'm in a bit of trouble here. I'm going to make the play, though, I think. I think I want to Calm Mind here. So let me think about these scenarios. He can switch into either Jellicent right now or Sableye to predict the Psychic-type move, which would knock out the Conkeldurr, which is the very obvious play. If he stays in and knocks out Harry here, we're in a lot of trouble. So it's a very high-risk, high-reward situation for me. But I do think he's going to save this Conkeldurr because of how useful it is on his team. So I'm going to go for the Calm Mind here and predict a switch. And if he decides to stay in, that is going to be very, very problematic for me. Losing my Vaporeon was very... He is going to stay in here, and he's going to probably go for a knockoff, which will in turn most likely knock me out. That is not good, guys. That is not good. He does go for the knockoff, so I don't know if he just predicted me to stay in or kind of what happened there, but he knocks out Harry, and I'm really not sure what we're going to do now. Okay, not a big deal. Let's go into Venusaur, and I just have to go for a Giga Drain at this point, I believe. It's really the only thing I can do. The problem is Venusaur just kind of baits in the Skarmory a million times over, so there's not a whole lot I could do there. I could go into Pinocchio and try to fire off like a Mega Horn or something, but I don't believe that's going to do much. Man. Try to make a play, but he stays in, so I don't know what he predicted there, if he just thought I was going to stay in or kind of what happened there, but I got to go into Asparagus now. I mean, I just lost Harry, so that's pretty unfortunate for me. We're going to have this is going to be a tough one to fight back on, but we'll try. Okay, so we got Asparagus out here. And what I'm going to do is, no, I don't want to click run. No. Would you like to forfeit? No, I didn't want to click run. I meant to click Mega. Mega Evolve, and I'm simply just going to go for the Giga Drain, I think. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go for a Giga Drain here. We'll Mega Evolve, get the Giga Drain off. He very well may stay in with this Conkeldurr, because it's probably Guts boosted now. I just don't know why he stayed in there. I felt like... I mean, if I went for Psyshock, I thought he was going to go into Sableye, so I wanted to get that Calm Mind off, because if I get a Calm Mind off, then I kill Sableye, I really hurt the Jellicent, Skarmory goes down. I mean, he has no switch-ins if I get that Calm Mind up, so I know it was kind of a high risk, but I thought it would pay off. But what are you going to do? So, oh well. It's unfortunate, man, because Delphox was really important. And if I just click Psyshock, we would have knocked this thing out, which is really unfortunate. But unless he's like a Kebia berry or whatever the psychic reducing berry is, but I doubt that. So we're just gonna go over the Giga Drain here. It's very possible he just goes into Skarmory, which I cannot touch with this Pokemon. If Skarmory comes in, my only real play is to go into Salamence and try to Fire Blast. But then I'm gonna be in a lot of trouble, man. I don't really know how we're gonna get through this now that I lost Delphox, but we'll see how it goes. That was not a good thing. Not a good thing at all. He is gonna switch out this time, most likely into Skarmory, because that thing totally just walls us. He's gonna go to Mesprit actually, so that's fine. So Mesprit comes out. It's going to take a little bit of damage from Stealth Rocks. I'm gonna get my Mega Evolution off here, and I'm gonna get a Giga Drain off and do a little bit of damage to this thing. It's not gonna do a ton, but we will weaken this thing. Probably about 25-30%, depending on if he's special or physical defense. So that does a solid, sizable chunk. I'm pretty sure I could take a Psychic from this thing. So I'm actually thinking that my best play here is to just Sledge Bomb now, because we've already seen a little bit of a set. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna Sledge Bomb, because a Psychic is, unless he's like super duper offensive, like that Giga Drain, actually, he could actually be pretty offensive. We haven't seen an item. He very well could be. No, he didn't use Life Orb. I just don't want him to get a U-turn off here and get more momentum. I think I'm gonna stay in because I know I can Synthesis, so I'm gonna go for the Sludge Bomb here. I'm just gonna stay in and Sludge Bomb. If he goes for the U-turn, that's fine. If he goes for a Psychic, I should be able to live it and be able to heal off with the Synthesis. If he's not like Modest Life Orb, Max Special Attack, he's not gonna really be doing a ton with Psychic. Like if he's not invested at all, he doesn't even, it's not even a 2-hit KO. So my Sludge Bomb is gonna connect, obviously. And that's gonna put him in range for a second Sludge Bomb. He's gonna simply go for a U-turn here, so that was kind of why I just decided to go for the Sludge Bomb, because I had a feeling he wasn't gonna Psychic. It really just didn't seem like that was gonna be his play. So that was a relatively good turn of events. I'm sure Skarmory's coming out, which is problematic for me, but I could potentially try to paralyze it. I can go for Rock Slide, I can go for Fire Blast, I can do a couple different things, but it does bait out the Conkeldurr again, which is problematic. But now that Venusaur is Mega Evolved, I at least can switch into Conkeldurr, so it's not the worst thing in the world, but we're gonna have to really play well to kind of climb back in this. And my Salamence isn't really offensive, so that makes things a little more challenging too. But at least I don't have to worry about a burn from the Jellicent, because I could Dragon Pulse. But I do have to worry about Ice Beam from Jellicent, which, I don't know. I mean, Venusaur can beat most of his team except for Skarmory, so if I can get rid of Skarmory, there's a chance. I just have to get rid of Skarmory somehow. I don't know how that's gonna happen, but if we can do it, then there's hope. But this is looking a little bit grim, but that's okay. We're gonna try our best here to climb back. A nice challenge is never a bad thing. That Delphox play, man, that was just brutal, dude. Just a bad prediction on my part. Try to make a good play at the beginning of the game, and it just didn't pay off. So it's all good though. I don't know why he hasn't gone to Skarm yet, to be honest. Skarmory is switching a million times here, a million times over. He is gonna go into that Skarmory, so that's exactly what I was thinking. Okay, so here's a thing. I should be able to outspeed this thing, and he is showing the leftovers, which is nice. Nice to see, so we see lefties. So what I'm actually gonna do here is I'm gonna go for the Sleep Powder here. Try to put this thing to sleep. We are faster, and it's a 75% accurate move, so I really hope we can connect this. I know I could take a Brave Bird anyway, even if it doesn't work out. But putting this thing to sleep would be really nice, because it'll cripple it, essentially. It'll give me a free switch into Mence. It'll give me a switch into T-Tar. I could do kind of whatever. I think T-Tar would be my switch, though, because it obviously takes less from Stealth Rocks, and we can kind of preserve our Salamence a little bit better. But I'm going to try to get this Sleep Powder off here. I'd never run Sleep Powder, but I'm due to have some moves hit. It'd be pretty sweet if my attacks will hit, so we're going to hope. We're going to hope for that. And then T-Tar can come out and I can go for a Fire Blast. I'm just worried about him hazard stacking me. If he starts setting up spikes, we like pretty much lose. So I don't know how we could play around that. So that's gonna be really tough. We're gonna go for the Sleep Powder. We do connect it. It's a miracle. So we're gonna put this thing to sleep, which is very nice. So that's gonna give us an opportunity to get a switch into our T-Tar here. Now I don't know if he's gonna predict that. I don't know if he's gonna predict Salamence. I don't know what he's gonna think right now, but Venusaur cannot touch this Skarmory, so I have to go into my T-Tar here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into Tyranitar and set the sand back up, and also try to Fire Blast this thing. I can also Rock Slide, but I want to go for some Fire Blast here and see if I can kind of wear this thing down. That's another thing that's really unfortunate too, is because that Sableye around, I'm actually Moxie Heracross, and now that I don't have my Vaporeon, I actually have no way to get rid of a burn. So if he burns Heracross, like if he saves Sableye and burns Heracross, I like lose one of my primary offensive sweepers. So we're definitely in a tough spot here. We are in a really tough spot here. It's going to be challenging for us to claw this back, but we're going to try. So I'm assuming he's just gonna stay in and burn a turn of sleep, but I'm not sure. We'll see. I would faster, so I would switch first anyway. And he is gonna just stay in and be fast asleep. Okay, so this is an opportunity for me to fire off a Fire Blast here, kind of reveal a little bit about my set, but if he brings in Conk, like, I gotta weaken it anyway, and it's toxic, so it is gonna get weakened. So I think I kind of just have to go for the Fire Blast here. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna show the Fire Blast and just go for it. If it decides to switch out, that's fine. I can get like some chip damage off on stuff. So let's see what he's gonna do here. If he goes to Jellicent, now he's not gonna go into Jellicent because he doesn't know kind of what my whole set is yet. So he probably still thinks I have a Dark move, which would really hurt Jellicent and Mesprit, but I don't have either, so that's unfortunate. But we got 1 turn of sleeps here, so I believe it's gonna be 2 to 3 turns is how the sleep mechanic works. And let's get this, I hope he stays in. I need to get rid of this Skarmory to really have any hope here, so I don't know if he's just gonna like kind of stay in and be like, I wonder what this T-Tar is gonna do. But I should 2-hit KO with Fire Blast, depending on unless he's like a specially defensive variant. Because I'm actually running Impish T-Tar, so he's gonna stay in. So I am gonna be able to connect a Fire Blast here, hopefully. We do connect. This should do a little over half. Should do a little over half, and it does about half. So that leads me to believe he has some special defense investment, or I just got the absolute worst roll ever. So it's really close as to whether this is gonna kill or not, if I'm being totally honest. So I have to just go for it again. There's not really any thought process here. If he switches, he switches. Like, my play here 1,000,000% is to Fire Blast. If he wants to go into Jellicent, he's risking, you know, the potential for a, you know, a crunch or something that could hit it really hard. If he goes into Sableye, I have to make a switch. I don't know what I switch. The problem is I have no switch-ins now for Will-O-Wisp on Sableye. Normally I would go into Vaporeon, but I just have no answers for that. So something unfortunately has to get burned on my team, and it'll probably be Godzilla. But maybe I could at least paralyze the Sableye. If it were to come in, I'll just go for T-Wave and just kind of let Godzilla get paralyzed. There's not, or burned. I don't really have too many options here, but we're gonna go over this Fire Blast here, and I would love to knock this thing out. Like, that would be lovely. it would be a dream come true if he stayed in. I don't anticipate that. I think he's gonna switch here, but he is still asleep, so at least I have that going for me. So Skarmory's a little bit of dead weight right now. And what I could do is Heracross. If I can get Heracross in, I can click knockoff and really put some hurt on his team. But I think my burn fodder for that Sableye is gonna have to be this T-Tar, because Sableye can't really do much to me, and I at least have Fire Blast to hit from the special side. But T-Tar needs to spread those paralysis around. He is gonna switch, probably into Jelly, probably into Jellicent, or the Sableye. Here comes the Mesprit. So if we connect this Fire Blast, we actually will knock it out. It might just go down to Sand anyway, but T-Tar is gonna connect the Fire Blast and knock this thing out, so that's really cool. So let me make some notes here. Conk killed Vaporeon, Conk killed Delphox with knockoff, and T-Tar kills Mesprit with Fire Blast. Okay, cool. And Skarmory is sleeping. Sleep 50%. Mesprit is gone. Make some notes. Conkeldurr. I mean, he just gets a free switch in a Conk here, so like, this is really tough. All he has to do is just go into Conkeldurr. And I don't really have a switch, because he could just Drain Punch. I mean, I can go into Heracross, but if he is Guts, which I'm assuming he is, he's really gonna body me. I mean, I could go for a Rock Slide Flinch, that's not gonna do a ton. Yeah, this Conkeldurr is incredibly problematic. I knew it was gonna be, but it stinks too, because had I clicked Psyshock on that turn, which is, I hate to keep bringing it up, but if I click Psyshock there, Conkeldurr is gone, and this match is totally different, you know? And that's what happens in competitive Pokemon, man. You make one play like that, and things can really kind of go awry. So, you know, we still got our T-Tar here though, so that's good. And, you know, I'm fully expecting him to just go for, you know, kind of like an Ice Punch or something like that. I am fully physically defensive with my Asparagus though, so I'm thinking that I just have to go into that. So that's the play I'm gonna make. I don't really have another play, so I am just gonna go into my Venusaur here, and see how well we take this Drain Punch. there's not really another play. I can't stay in with T-Tar. I still need it because it's going to be very clear that I'm going to need to paralyze his Sableye or his Jellicent or something like that if I want to have a chance at this, because it's going to be really hard to wear those down otherwise, especially with that Prankster Sableye. But we'll see how much this Drain Punch does if he goes for it. He is going to go for the Ice Punch here, which is a neutral hit, so it's going to do a little bit more than otherwise would. We're going to take some Sandstorm damage, which is definitely pretty unfortunate, but we should be able to take another Ice Punch here, it looks like, from this damage. He's going to take Toxic, which is really nice, and the Sandstorm is up for one more turn. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go for the Giga Drain here, get some chip damage off. If he wants to switch, that's fine. He could very well go into Skarmory, but my only play is Giga Drain. I can't predict any switches. I have to just be able to live the Ice Punch. But I am a little bit worried that after Giga Drain, he could Mach Punch and knock me out before I can Synthesis, because this Sand is keeping me from using Synthesis right now, which is kind of unfortunate. But I am going to connect the Giga Drain here. I'm expecting him to be Assault Vest, and that looks like an Assault Vest Conkeldurr if I ever seen one. We're going to get up to 97 here, and he's going to go for the Ice Punch again. So we're going to see kind of where we end up after this Ice Punch. It looks like we're in a decent spot here. The Sandstorm does go away, which is very important, because that's going to allow me to go for a Synthesis now. I was hoping that Synthesis would happen. I think I could live a Mach Punch here. It's not really up to chance. I have to just go for the Synthesis. It's really my only play. I have to go for Synthesis here to have a chance of this match. And if Mach Punch knocks me out, then it knocks me out. There's nothing I can do about that. I can't switch out Asparagus and try to Synthesis later. I have to do it right now. This is the only time. So if he Mach Punches, so be it. If he Ice Punches, that's fine. I'll be faster than him. Knockoff obviously won't do anything. And Drain Punch, I'm assuming he has Mach Punch. I haven't seen his fourth move, but I am very much so assuming it is Mach Punch. So we're just going to go for the Synthesis here and hope for the best. He could go into Skarm, which is fine, because then I get the Synthesis off. And then I could just go back into T-Tar and start firing off some Fire Blasts again. It'd be kind of the same scenario as before. Or actually, if Skarmory comes out, I think I go into Salamence this time instead. I think that would be a better play. Even though I don't want to get worn down with Salamence because I needed to check the Charizard, it matches up better against the Skarmory and does more with Fire Blast. But we'll see what he does here. He could try for the Mach Punch and see if it knocks me out. I think we're going to live it, though. I do. Just based on that Ice Punch damage. I think it's going to be close, though. So we'll see what he does. Ideally, the best case scenario here is that somehow oh, he's going to switch. So we're going to get to heal up here. He's probably going to go into Skarm. He goes into Sableye, actually. Okay. So he's going to go into that Sableye. And that Conkeldurr is very weakened, which is nice. Now, I do not want to allow my Venusaur to get burned, and the reason for that is if Venusaur gets burned, its longevity is going to be drastically reduced, and I don't want that. So, I mean, I could just go for a Giga Drain here, but I really think he's just going to go for Will-O-Wisp. So I'm going to go into Godzilla here, my T-Tar, and I'm just going to try to fire off like a, like a T-Wave. If I could paralyze this thing, that'll be really good. Gotta paralyze this thing because I gotta be able to figure out a way to get Heracross in without this thing being able to burn it, because if he burns Heracross, I don't know how we're gonna pull it back. I need Heracross to be able to beat all the other things, although I guess if I knock off the Jellicent, we could beat it with Venusaur, so it'll be interesting to kind of see. But my play here is into T-Tar, assuming he's gonna Will-O-Wisp. But we've done a pretty good job of weakening his team a little bit here. I mean, he's got a Sleeping Skarmory, he's got a very, very low Conkeldurr. He still has the Charizard, which is very scary. And he still has the Jellicent, which I haven't seen yet. But the Sableye, I'm assuming, is going to be Willow, Recover, Knock Off, maybe Priority, Shadow Sneak or something. So we'll see what he's going to do here. But I'm assuming the Will-O-Wisp is incoming. So we are going to get the Sand up. I'm going to count Sand terms this time because it's important with Venusaur. He's a Calm Mind variant of Sableye. So I did not expect that, actually. And I don't know if I can... what am I going to do to this thing? I guess we're going to have to paralyze it and try to flinch it, I suppose. Paralyze and flinch shenanigans because he is Calm Mind. Maybe he won't have Willow. Actually, Standard has Willow, so this is going to be tough. But he's lefties. Okay. So let's go for the T-Wave here. Got to paralyze him. I'm gonna try to paralyze him. He's gonna go for the Will-O-Wisp, and he does connect, so we see Willow and Calm Mind. Okay. We get the T-Wave off, so we are gonna paralyze the Sableye. And now I have to figure out how to beat this thing. Because he is kind of in a spot where he just straight up like beats us with Recover and Calm Mind. I actually don't know how to beat a Calm Mind Sableye at this point without anything to phase him out. What can I do here? Let's think about this. Heracross can't touch him because if I get burned, I'm not Guts. I was gonna be Guts and I changed it to Moxie at the end. I'm gonna go for the Rock Slide here even though I'm burned. I think that's really all I can do. I can't go into Mence because Mence is just gonna have moves that can't really do anything to him. I mean, I could Dragon Pulse him, but if he starts getting him more Calm Minds, he just kind of wins. So I'm gonna go for Rock Slide here. Yeah, I had a feeling Calm Mind regular Sableye, but usually you just see Calm Mind Mega Sableye. But we'll see how much this Rock Slide. I mean, I'm burned, so it's not gonna do anything. He's gonna go for a second Calm Mind here. I'm just really I'm really confused here how to win this. I think I have to go into Heracross and go for a knockoff and try to wear this thing down. I'm gonna get a Rock Slide off here, which is gonna do a decent amount, not a ton, but a little bit. I think I have to go into Heracross and knockoff and just hope for a crit or something, or go for maybe he'll miss the Willow or get fully parried. You know what? That's what we have to do. I have to go into Heracross here and I have to click Mega Horn and try to just see if like how much does a Mega Horn do from an Adamant Heracross? Because that move we just went for did quite a bit. Mega Horn does have a chance to knock him out of this range. I'm gonna go into Heracross here and I'm gonna take the chance that he either gets fully paralyzes or misses a Will-O-Wisp, which is a 25% chance for the para and a 10% chance to miss. He may attack here, or he may just keep Calm Minding. He is gonna Calm Mind again. So I need him to miss or something else. I mean, I could go for the knockoff here and get rid of his lefties, but I think I just have to go for Mega Horn and just hope. And there's also a 6.25% chance of a crit. So we have a couple different scenarios here that could work in our favor, but if only I was Guts, man. If I was Guts, this thing would have no problems right now. In fact, if I was Guts, this would be easy peasy, man. But I'm gonna click Mega Horn here and hope for one of those above scenarios to happen. And if they don't, we're in trouble, ladies and gentlemen. We're in trouble. But we'll see what happens, man. I could use a little bit of aDrive luck here. Could use a little bit of aDrive luck here. But that's Pokemon for you. So we'll see what happens. But I did click Mega Horn, which will, in theory, knock this thing out at this range. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. He may also be afraid I'm Guts, too, which is another kind of interesting scenario here. So, I don't know. Because if he burns me, then I knock out a Sableye. So, it's kind of either or. He might think I'm Guts Heracross, which is, I had Guts, man. I had Guts, and I switched to Moxie at the end. Like, right at the end. I mean, he could also just go into Skarmory here, which is probably the best play. But he may just try to save this thing for the sweep. Because he has a kind of a sweep lined up here a little bit. Sableye is very, very scary. Very, very scary. I stopped counting sand terms. I'm terrible at this. Come on, Pinocchio. I need you, buddy. I need you, Pinocchio, to dip, dodge, duck, dive, and dodge, baby. Dip, dodge, duck, dive, dodge. I don't remember. He is not going to Will-O-Wisp. We are going to connect a Mega Horn here. I hope this is enough to knock him out, and it is. We are going to get that Moxie boost, baby, and that is what I am talking about. Sableye goes down. Huge, huge threat against us. We are going to get the Moxie boost, which does give us that nice +1, which will not really do much for us because we have to switch anyway. But it is helpful nevertheless because we got rid of a huge, huge threat that was really stopping my Heracross from potentially putting in some work. So now that that thing's gone, we have gotten rid of Mesprit and Sableye, and I'm not sure if he just went for the attack there or what happened, but he did not Will-O-Wisp me, thinking I was gonna be Guts, and I am not Guts. I am Moxie. So he knows that now. Whew! I had to play that one real quick. I had to bluff that one. It wasn't even a bluff. That was my only play, dude. That was my only play. I will take it though. Heracross kills Sableye with Mega Horn. Okay. We have a chance now. We're climbing back. We're climbing back. I mean, his team is weakened except for Jellicent. I can knock off the Jellicent. I have Venusaur, which can beat Jellicent one-on-one. I have to figure out how to beat that Skarmory. If I can get that Skarmory to go down, we have a chance. There is hope, ladies and gentlemen. There is hope. I actually wonder if Mega Horn at +1 beats Charizard at half. That's weird. Here comes Yo, which is that Skarmory. Okay. So we expected Skarmory to come out here. Not surprising at all. My play 1,000,000% is to go into Tyranitar here. So that is what I'm going to do. Because even though I'm burnt, I can threat him out with Fire Blast. And if he goes into Jellicent, I just Thunder Wave it. Because I know I can live with Scald. So, and if I Thunder Wave the Jellicent, then that's another thing that's paralyzed. Which is very nice. So we're going to just make the switch here. Because a Mega Horn really is not going to do a whole lot to this thing. I already switched. I probably should have calced it. I probably should have stayed and calced it. But if he goes for, if he were to like Brave Bird here and wake up, we're in trouble. Mega Horn doesn't do anything. Even at +1. If it was close combat, it'd be fine. But Mega Horn doesn't do anything here. So I do have to switch to T-Tar. But I could either paralyze this thing or paralyze the Jellicent. So either or would be very, very nice. So let's go into T-Tar. And we'll see what he's going to do here. He's probably going to wake up and Brave Bird or Roost or whatever. But we're going to kick the Sandstream out. I'm going to try to count the Sandstream this time, guys. I'm going to do it this time. He's going to wake up, and he goes for the Defog. So he's actually going to get rid of those rocks. Okay. All right, so we see Defog on Skarm. This gives me an opportunity to Fire Blast if I want to. But I think what I'd rather do is actually go for the Thunder Wave and paralyze this thing. So that is going to be my play, because if he makes a switch here, I can weaken, or I could paralyze something. I could either, I mean, the only thing is if he went into Conkeldurr. If he went to Conkeldurr, that would be the problem here if I went for Fire Blast. So I can also get my rocks back up. Let's go for the T-Wave. I really don't anticipate the Conkeldurr coming out right now. I really don't. Do I just T-Wave or do I get my rocks up again? Because rocks are very nice. Or a Fire Blast. I have a couple options. I want a T-Wave predicting the Jellicent. Would he go into Conkeldurr here? He may just Roost. Let's go for the T-Wave. Any situation here except for going into Conkeldurr is fine with me. He's gonna Roost, that's fine. I get my T-Wave off, that's totally fine. Now what I can do is I get this T-Wave off and then I get to go for Stealth Rocks and force him to defog again. Which is what I really like, I really like that. That is something that works for me. So now we're gonna paralyze this thing, which means I'm faster. Which means that my Stealth Rocks go first, my Fire Blast goes first, all that stuff, and he has no way to get rid of it. He is gonna be at full health, but at least he's paralyzed now. Now I'm gonna go for my Stealth Rocks again, because again, taking 50% off that Charizard is incredibly useful for me, and it also does a little bit of damage to the Conkeldurr, so let's go for Stealth Rocks here. If he wants to switch, that's fine. That is, I believe, 2 turns of Sand. This will be turn 3 of Sand, so good to know, but I'm just gonna go for my rocks here. I wanna get those rocks up. 50% on Charizard is a lot of health. That is a lot of health. It makes a difference between a couple KOs, so that's a big deal. But this thing is now paralyzed, which is very nice. The problem is the only thing I have on my team that beats Skarmory is Salamence and T-Tar, and T-Tar is getting worn down a lot. So, because Heracross is not beating Skarmory, that's not happening. But it's okay. We can Fire Blast a few times. I have Dragon Pulse, I have things like that, and Skarmory can't touch me. I mean, he's got Defog. We haven't seen any other moves from Skarmory though. But he saw Roost and Defog, okay. Probably Brave Bird. And we don't know what his last move is because it was Stealth Rocks from the Mesprit. So if he goes into Charizard here, that's fine. I just Rock Slide, I let Godzilla go down, I go into Salamence, I click Dragon Pulse, knock that thing out, so that's fine. Hopefully, that's the plan. I don't think he's gonna go into Charizard though. Not right now, that would be weird actually. So he could go into Jellicent though. He could very well go into Jellicent. Which in which case I have to go into Venusaur, and then I have to deal with Venusaur and Skarmory. How do I beat this Skarmory? He's gonna switch, probably into Jellicent. Here comes Yo, which is the Jellicent. Okay. So I'm gonna go for Stealth Rocks, obviously. And now I think what makes the most sense to me is to simply go for a T-Wave. We see the leftovers on the Jellicent, so that's nice to know. I'm thinking I just go for T-Wave here, because I don't want to switch in Venusaur right now and get burned. I don't want to get weakened that way. I think I just go for the T-Wave. Because I should be faster. I have some speed on this thing. So I'm going to go for T-Wave here. I'm sacking off my Godzilla at this point. It's already weakened. I'm not going to really be able to beat the Skarmory with it being Roost. Salamence has that duty, so I think what I do is I'm gonna end up knockoff here shortly with Heracross is what ends up happening here, because then I can at least weaken the Skarmory. Standard Jellicent does take about 96% max if he's fully physically defensive. Wow. So this here, oh, that's at +1. I'm sorry, I was calcing +1 from before. We do about half with knockoff. Do about half. We run the risk of getting burned, which is unfortunate, but at this point in time, that's okay. I need to weaken this Jellicent enough so that way I can knock it out with like a Dragon Pulse later. He is gonna go for the Scald, so he's actually faster than us, so he has some speed investment on this thing, but we are gonna live it with 33 health, which is very nice. I'm gonna get a T-Wave off here, and we are going to be able to live that Scald, which is very nice. We're already burned, so it doesn't matter. We have a lot of special defense investment, and the sand obviously boosts our special defense, which is always nice. And now I'm kind of in an interesting spot here, because I'm actually gonna go for the Rock Slide now, which has a 30% chance to flinch, and we have a 25% chance that he gets paralyzed. And we have another turn or so here before we go down. So I'm fully expecting to go down this turn, which is fine. But if I can get this Rock Slide off here and get a little bit of chip damage, that could really open the gate for Heracross to put in a little bit more work. And he may not even have Will-O-Wisp on this thing. He's got Scald, but we don't know what else he has. So... and knockoff will be good against the Skarmory too. I could weaken that thing. He doesn't have Rocks up anymore either, so Salamence comes in at full, so that's really nice too. So the Rock Slide's gonna come off. Not gonna do a ton. We're gonna get the flinch though, and the Sandstorm will go away at this point, and I think we're gonna go down to burn here. Or we might have one more turn before we go down to burn. But either way, this chip damage has been relatively nice. I just don't want to go into Venusaur here because it invites the that Skarmory in every time. So I'm gonna go for the Rock Slide again. Try to get some chip damage. And we'll see what he's gonna do. I kind of have to go into my Heracross though after this. If I go into Venusaur, he goes into Skarmory, and then I have to go into Salamence, which isn't very good. If Heracross goes for the knockoff, brings this thing down to a little less than half, he could potentially burn me at that point in time. We're gonna get another flinch, very nice. I think we go down to the burn now at this point though. So this is gonna be the play with Heracross. I have to go for Heracross here. I have to go for the knockoff. I have to weaken this thing enough so that way I can bring in my my Salamence and Dragon Pulse it. Because Salamence is really my only way to win this match now, even though I'm defensive. So I'm gonna do that. I think I gotta go into Pinocchio here. I know the obvious play, the smart play here would be to go to Venusaur, but Venusaur just makes it so he goes into Skarmory. I have nothing to touch it, so I'm gonna go for the knockoff here because at least if I knock off the Skarmory's item, then it has a little bit of a tougher time kind of recovering. So we'll see if he stays in or if he makes the switch into Skarm or not. But T-Tar goes down to burn. T-Tar dies to burn from Sableye. So that's actually Sableye's kill. I'm gonna connect a knockoff here, and it does a lot. And he goes for the Will-O-Wisp, and he connects. So he is gonna burn us. Definitely unfortunate that we get burned here, but like there really wasn't a whole lot I can do. So now I just have to hope that knockoff knocks him out, which I do think it will. So I'm just gonna go for the knockoff again. It's really my only play. So he could go into Conk. Conk will take rocks plus toxic plus knockoff. I don't think Conk lives a knockoff, 2 knockoffs here. So Heracross, even though it's burned, this actually should knock it out. And he lives. He goes for Scald though, luckily enough, and I should be able to take the Scald no problem. We do. So that actually works out. If he went for Recover there, that actually would have been worse. But we do live, and I can just go for a knockoff again and take out the Jellicent. If he switch, he dies to rocks anyway, so there's really no reason for him to switch here. His play is 1,000,000% to stay in. He does, and Heracross kills Jellicent with knockoff. So we are burned, but we got rid of the Jellicent. Okay. We're gonna get a Moxie boost. Very nice. So here's the thing. If he goes into Conk and Mach Punches, he just knocks us out. It's whatever. If he goes into Charizard, my play is actually to allow him to Dragon Dance and go for the knockoff. I kind of just want to knock that thing out. Let me just see if I die to burn, though. 22 out of 155. I'm at 15, so don't go into Charizard. He goes into Skarm. Perfect. This is good. I actually wanted him to go into Skarmory, so I could just go for the knockoff here. And it is very possible that he decides to do some shenanigans here and just simply defog and try to get the rocks off the field. But either way, I get to go for a knockoff here, and it is a +1, even though I'm burned. Should do a solid amount. Not a ton, but a little bit. And we'll see how much it's going to do. Doesn't really do too much, but we get rid of his leftovers. And I'm thinking he's going to just defog, and that's exactly what he does. He does just go for the defog here. Heracross, unfortunately, does not really have a ton of usefulness at this point, so I think my play here is just simply go for a knockoff again. Even though he could just knock me out, or he could just go for Roost. I don't know if he's going to Roost or not. I'm going to go for the knockoff just in case he doesn't Roost. He could also get fully paralyzed. We're going to connect a knockoff here. And he goes for the Roost. So not surprising. All right. So Fire Blast from Mence does about 82%. He will live it at this range, but he's not living 2. So we're going to go into Mence now, which is our only play. And we have to go for Fire Blast. And we got a Mence Earhart. You don't have a single kill this season, baby. I need you to hit some Fire Blast right now. That's what I need right now. I need you to hit some Fire Blast. So let's do it. Fire Blast. Let's do it. Should do about 70 to 80% roughly. So it is a 2 KO. He is paralyzed. I'm sure he has Sturdy though, so we're not going to OHKO him anyway. But I need you, Earhart. This is it right here. This is for the marbles. Heracross dies to burn from Jellicent. This has been a very statusy game. Very statusy game. Come on, Mence. You got this, buddy. You got this, Mence. I need you here, buddy. I need you to hit a couple Fire Blasts right now. I need you to hit a couple Fire Blasts right now. That's what I need, a little Fire Blast action. I am a little bit worried, though, because that Charizard actually will most likely live a Dragon Pulse, so I'm kind of hoping he Dragon Dances in front of my face, but he might not know what kind of variant I am. So that Charizard might be a little scared of me. I'm going to go for the Fire Blast, though. We are going to connect, which is very nice, and it's going to do over half to him. Very nice. And he's going to go for the Whirlwind here, actually, and just blow us right into my Venusaur, which is not what I wanted at all. I didn't want to go into Venusaur here. I didn't ask for that. Now I have to go back into Salamence. So I have to go back into Salamence and just hope that he doesn't Whirlwind me out. So we're going to have a little bit of shenanigans here, but I'm pretty sure I know his set. It's probably it's Defog, Roost, Whirlwind, and likely Brave Bird. And let me show you guys this calc. Against Charizard X, standard Charizard X, let's see here. Dragon Pulse does 78 to 94%, so we actually don't knock him out. So, very, very scary. Very, very scary. That's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough to beat this Charizard. But let's see what he does here. I could full para would be pretty solid. He hasn't gotten fully paired this entire game. This would be a good opportunity for that. We're gonna get another Intimidate off here if he decides to Brave Bird. He goes for, oh, he gets paralyzed. That's what I needed right there. That's what I needed. I needed one of those. All right, baby, Fire Blast. I need you to connect here. This is what we need. I need to collect this Fire Blast. I need to connect it. Need to connect the Fire Blast. Let's see what happens. We connect. We're gonna take out Skarmory. Salamence kills Skarmory with Fire Blast. Okay, this is gonna be very interesting here, coming down to the wire. It's gonna be very, very interesting here. Charizard's gonna come in. Is there any reason why he wouldn't Mega Evolve against me? Is there any reason why he wouldn't Mega Evolve against me? I don't think I have any other option here. If he decides to not Mega Evolve, I mean, I have to just go for Dragon Pulse here. Let me think about this play. If he sets up to +1, I just lose. So that's why I'm thinking, if I went into Venusaur here, if he doesn't Mega Evolve, I gotta hit him with True Dragon Pulses anyway. I'm just afraid he's gonna go for a Dragon move here and beat us. I gotta click Dragon Pulse, man. That's the play. You know, I gotta just click it. I gotta just click it. Like, I don't really think there's any other play here. I've got the Habanberry. It's not gonna knock him out, but I just have to go for Dragon Pulse here. I almost put Draco on this thing, but the best case scenario here is he clicks Dragon Dance, if I'm being completely honest. I need him to click Dragon Dance, because if I go into Venusaur and he goes for a Dragon move, I can't take 2 with Venusaur. He's gonna Mega Evolve. That's what I was hoping for. I needed that. I definitely needed that to happen. He's gonna Mega Evolve. Go for Dragon Dance. Go for Dragon Dance. He's going for Substitute. That's even better. That's even better. He's sub Dragon Dance. That's fine. That's fine with me. I get to go for Dragon Pulse. It's gonna break his Substitute. And if he goes for a Dragon type move, I live. And this puts him in range for Dragon Pulse. Dragon Pulse is 78 to 94. This puts him in range in Dragon Pulse now. This is gonna come down to the wire, yo. This is gonna come down to the wire. All his Pokemon are named Yo, so I had to say Yo now. And we only got 13 minutes left, so this is really coming down to the wire. Come on, Earhart. You got this, Earhart. I hope this thing doesn't have any bulk investment. I just hope he doesn't have any bulk investment. Just don't have any bulk investment, please. Please, please, please. No bulk. No bulk investment. I don't know why he would anyway, but he is debating this play. Maybe he thought I was going into Venusaur there. That's why he subbed. I live any hit he goes for. I live any hit he goes for. Come on. Come on, Earhart. I need you to pick up this kill, girl. I need you to pick up this kill. This is the kill right here, Earhart. You gotta get this Dragon Pulse kill. I'm faster. What did he go for? Dragon Tail? Is he at a bulky set? He is a bulky set. He goes for Dragon Tail. We have the Habanberry. That is actually not what I wanted, because that is gonna bring me down and that is not what I wanted. I did not want to deal with a Dragon Tail variant. Oh my goodness, that is not good. Does my Sludge Bomb break his Substitute? Oh my goodness, does my Sludge Bomb break his Substitute? Mega Charizard, he's the bulky variant, I'm assuming. He's like, why is he running Dragon Tail? That's so weird. Sludge Bomb does break his Substitute, even if he's bulky. So I have to go for Sludge Bomb here. Have to go for Sludge Bomb here. Oh my goodness, I was not expecting that. I was not expecting that at all. Dragon Tail? Why didn't you just go for Outrage, bro? He's gonna Roost. Alright, so he can Roost stall me, but I have a 30% chance for a Poison. I'll see if he's specially defensive or physically defensive here in a second. Did sizable damage. Did sizable damage. I'm gonna go for Sludge Bomb again. This is really my only play. Does he not have another Dragon move aside from Dragon Tail though? He's Roost Substitute. He might not have another one. Sub Roost. Detail. Like, Mence can take another Dragon Tail. I'm fully physically defensive and I get an Intimidate off. So I'm just gonna go for Sludge Bombs here until he shows me something else. Because if he doesn't have he's not gonna be a Dragon Dance variant now. Now I know he's not Dragon Dance. So what is he? This is interesting, man. He's not Dragon Dance, he's Substitute. Sub Roost Dragon Tail. He's gonna be Home Claw's Dragon Tail? I'm very confused. But that means the only thing he can hit me with. This is very confusing. I don't get a Poison. He's forced to Roost here. I'm just gonna Sludge Bomb again. I lose nothing by Sludge Bombing. He's gonna Roost. And he's not gonna Dragon Tail against me. I just gotta get this Sludge Bomb off. Crit. Poison. That's what we needed right there. He's Roost stalling us. I should be able to live any hit from this thing. And he's really weak now. Now Sludge Bomb is putting in the work. I'm gonna click Sludge Bomb again. His only attacking move is Dragon Tail. He can't attack me. I'm so confused. It's a very weird Charizard set. Very, very weird set. His only attack, the only way he can attack me at any point in this match is to go for Dragon Tail. He's gonna Roost again So he's like trying to roost stall us right now. But all he can do is Dragon Tail. I'm so confused. But Sludge Bomb is gonna wear him down. I mean, he's just trying to stall me out here. Like, he's gonna be able to hit us. I don't understand. Like, I want to go into Salamence here, but if he Dragon Tails, I like lose. So that's really stupid of me. I still have some Sludge Bombs left. Do I think he's gonna Dragon Tail again? This is really tricky. I'm gonna make the switch into Salamence. If he Dragon Tails this turn, dude, I'm gonna shake my head so hard. Get the Intimidate off. That's gonna eliminate that Home Claws. He goes for Roost. Okay, so now I'm just gonna Dragon Pulse. Actually, you know what I can do? I can go into Venusaur too. It's really close for whether or not it knocks him out. I'm gonna go into Venusaur. I'm gonna just switch around here until he does something. Because if he Dragon Tails me into Salamence, I just win because I click Dragon Pulse. Like, he could Roost, but I could do more. So I just need him to get me into Salamence at a little bit lower of health. A little bit lower amount of health. Like, he can't attack me though. It's so weird. Such a weird set. Like, I was so worried about the offensive Dragon Dance variant. Big Daddy Venusaur coming in here. And if he doesn't Dragon Tail this turn, that's fine. I'll just keep Sludge Bombing. Like, he's only gonna have so many Roosts. Eventually he's gonna have to Dragon Tail me into Salamence again, so. And then I just Dragon Pulse. I hope he Dragon Tails this turn. That would be ideal. Like, definitely just go for Dragon Tail this turn, please. That'd be cool. I'll be pretty happy about that. There's a Dragon Tail. It's 100% accurate because of Hone Claws. He's going to bring us down. We take a lot of damage there. He gets a crit. But we are going to be able to go into Salamence here, and that's going to put him at about half after the poison damage. And even though he's faster than us, he's lowered attack now, and I could just keep firing off Dragon Pulses, which do more than he's going to be able to Roost off. So I'm thinking we just click Dragon Pulse here, and we should be in pretty good shape. This should knock him out at this range. He's below half. And if he Dragon Tails us, he dies to poison. If he Roosts, that's fine. He could Roost all day, because I win the battle if he Roosts. I just got a Dragon Pulse here. And if he Dragon Tails, we go first. So I was just very surprised to see Dragon Tail on this Pokemon. He is going to Dragon Tail, so we are going to get the Dragon Pulse off here. And it should knock him out after poison. It just straight up knocks him out. We get a crit. I don't believe the crit mattered at all, if I'm being completely honest. Unless he was like super bulky. Like, if I just go look up Mega Charizard, I mean, he was below half. So like the bulky Charizard set, it still does a lot. So now I think all I have to do here is just click Aerial Ace and we win. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna click Aerial Ace. Come on, Earhart. You got this, baby girl. And click Aerial Ace. We are faster. The Aerial Ace is going to connect, and it is going to take out the Conkeldurr, and we are going to win 2-0 against Twit in an incredibly long, intense matchup. That was absolutely nuts, guys. I did not expect to win that match once Delphox went down, but that is why you don't give up on a match. You got to always stick with it. You got to always plug, try to figure out what your win conditions are, and always try to work your way through the match and see if you can pick up a W. There was a little bit of hacks in that match, obviously, on both ends, so I don't really think that's a huge deal. But just incredible match, man. I don't know how to feel. That was crazy, dude. I did not expect to pull back that win there, especially after Delphox went down, but I knew that my Salamence could beat his Charizard, especially if he was the Dragon Dancing variant. That's why we had the Haban Berry. I knew I could live a +1 outrage, so that was what I was going with there. So all that shenanigans with Charizard at the end didn't really matter. I think if he brought like an offensive Zard, Salamence would have been able to take the hit, knock that thing out, and then again we would have been able to knock out the Conkeldurr too with Venusaur at that point. But either way, man, just a great match, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. We're gonna move to 5-3, very important win. We needed this one. Things have been just really rocky this season for us. You know, every win has been so narrow, but it's keeping my heart pumping. So might as well have some fun with it. So I had a blast, guys. I hope you enjoyed. That's gonna be it for me, guys. Hopefully we can head smash our way to victory next week, but I'm gonna catch you guys later. Peace.